Welcome to the YouTube channel, Contact Center Knowledge Hub, your one-stop solution for expert guidance, best practices, and actionable knowledge in the world of contact centers. Explore, learn, and enhance contact center skills. Let's map the cross-metric correlation of cost to serve in a contact center. Let's talk about how average handle time, or AHT, directly shapes your cost to serve. When AHT goes up, it means every interaction takes longer. And longer interactions require more labor hours. More labor hours per contact inevitably drive your cost to serve higher. On the other hand, when AHT comes down, your operation becomes leaner and more efficient. With the help of AI assistance, better agent training, and unified desktop tools, your teams can handle interactions faster and more effectively. The result? Lower AHT, lower labor cost per contact, and a stronger, healthier cost to serve. That's why optimizing AHT isn't just an operational goal, it's a strategic cost lever. Now, let's look at first contact resolution, or FCR, and how it influences your cost to serve. When FCR is low, customers don't get their issues resolved on the first try. This means they call, chat, or email again, and every repeat interaction costs you more in labor, time, and resources. More contacts per issue means a higher cost to serve. But when FCR is high, you resolve issues the very first time. Fewer repeat interactions, faster resolution, and lower cost per case. In short, strong FCR performance isn't just about customer satisfaction, it's a direct lever to reduce cost to serve and increase operational efficiency. Let's now explore the role of shrinkage in driving cost to serve. When shrinkage is high, whether due to absenteeism, breaks, meetings, training, or other non-productive time, your available productive hours shrink. And when the productive pool gets smaller, the cost to handle each contact goes up. Simply put, fewer working hours, spread across the same workload, increases your CTS. But when shrinkage is effectively controlled, you unlock more productive time. This boosts denominator efficiency, meaning your existing labor cost gets spread over more handled interactions. Shrinkage control isn't just a scheduling task, it's a powerful cost optimization lever. Next, let's break down how occupancy and utilization affect your cost to serve. When occupancy is low, agents aren't handling enough interactions relative to their paid time. That means you're paying for capacity that isn't fully used, and this drives your cost to serve higher. When occupancy is balanced, typically between 80 and 85%, you get the best of both worlds. Productivity is optimized, labor is efficiently utilized, and your CTS remains stable and healthy. But pushing occupancy too high can be a dangerous shortcut. While it may lower CTS in the short term, overloading agents leads to fatigue, burnout, and eventually higher attrition and training costs. The key: aim for sustainable, balanced occupancy, not extremes, to drive both operational efficiency and long-term cost control. Now, let's talk about service level and SLA compliance, two factors that have a direct financial impact on your cost to serve. When service level targets are missed and SLAs are breached, organizations often face revenue penalties, especially in BPO contracts. These penalties don't change your cost base, the numerator stays the same, but they increase the effective cost per unit of output. The result? A worsened cost to serve position and reduced profitability. On the other hand, strong service level performance means you're consistently meeting contractual commitments. No penalties, no financial leakages, and your CTS remains well balanced. Bottom line, Hitting your SL targets isn't just an operational win, it's a financial safeguard for the business. Let's look at the growing role of automation and AI in shaping cost to serve. When your automation rate is high, more customer interactions are handled without human involvement. This means lower labor cost per contact and a direct reduction in CTS. Similarly, when the AI resolution rate is strong, more issues are fully resolved through AI, whether it's a chatbot, voice bot, or self-service system. This further decreases human handling time and drives down overall costs. However, if your AI escalation rate is high, it's a signal that automation is failing to resolve issues effectively. Those escalated contacts then land on agents, increasing workload and raising CTS. The goal? Maximize automation and AI resolution, minimize unnecessary escalations, and let technology work as a true cost efficiency engine. Let's now connect cost to serve directly to two critical commercial ratios, bill to cost and bill to pay. Your CTS acts as the cost base behind both these metrics. Bill to cost is calculated as revenue divided by total cost to serve. Bill to pay is calculated as revenue divided by wage cost, which is a subset of CTS. When CTS rises, both ratios start to deteriorate. You generate less revenue per dollar spent, which erodes margins and reduces overall profitability. On the other hand, when CTS is managed effectively, both bill to cost and bill to pay ratios stay healthy, strengthening financial performance and operational leverage. In short, controlling CTS isn't just an operational necessity, it's a profitability lever for your business. Let's now look at how abandonment rate impacts cost to serve. When abandon rates are high, a significant portion of your capacity goes to waste. Agents remain idle or resources are consumed without generating any revenue or completing interactions. That wasted capacity translates directly into higher CTS. But when you reduce abandonment, every dollar spent is spread across more completed and revenue-driving interactions. This improves cost efficiency and brings CTS down. The takeaway: controlling abandonment isn't just about improving the customer experience, it's also a critical lever for financial efficiency. Let's talk about customer experience metrics, CSAT, NPS, and CES, and their powerful, indirect impact on cost to serve. When CSAT scores are low, customers are dissatisfied. That often leads to more repeat contacts, escalations, or even churn, all of which drive up your CTS. But when CSAT is high, issues are resolved efficiently, customer trust is stronger, and repeat contacts drop. This creates a natural downward pressure on CTS. Similarly, when customer effort score is low, meaning customers find it easy to get their issues resolved, your operations flow more smoothly. But a high-effort experience causes more escalations, longer handling, and higher costs. In short, delivering great customer experience isn't just good for loyalty, it's a cost optimization strategy that keeps your CTS lean and sustainable. Let's close by looking at attrition, a silent cost driver in your cost-to-serve model. When attrition is high, you're constantly spending on recruiting, onboarding, and training new hires. Those added costs inflate your CTS without necessarily increasing productivity. It's like resetting your operational engine again and again. But when attrition is low, your workforce remains stable. That means lower hiring and training expenses, stronger agent proficiency, and a more predictable cost base. The insight is clear: controlling attrition isn't just about retention, it's a cost efficiency strategy that directly protects and lowers your CTS. Now, let's talk about channel mix, one of the most powerful levers for controlling cost to serve. When your channel mix is voice heavy, CTS tends to be higher. That's because voice interactions typically require more agent time and carry higher labor costs per contact. Shifting more volume to digital channels like chat or email lowers CTS. These channels allow for higher concurrency, meaning agents can handle multiple interactions at once, improving efficiency. And at the most cost-efficient end of the spectrum is self-service and automation. Here, customers resolve their own issues without human intervention, drastically reducing cost per interaction. The key: strategically balance your channel mix to optimize both customer experience and costs to serve. Let's wrap up with a big picture view of cost to serve, your umbrella financial efficiency KPI. First, direct cost drivers like average handle time, first contact resolution, shrinkage, occupancy, and attrition shape your day-to-day cost structure. Next, automation levers, such as automation rate and AI resolution versus escalation, play a crucial role in lowering human touchpoints and driving cost efficiency. Then, there are the financial links. Metrics like bill to cost and bill to pay depend directly on how efficiently you manage CTS. If costs rise, your financial ratios weaken. Customer experience metrics, CSAT, NPS, and CES, indirectly influence CTS by driving or reducing repeat contacts, escalations, and overall interaction volume. And finally, your channel mix, voice, digital, or self-service, has a massive impact on cost per interaction and operational leverage. The bottom line, cost to serve connects almost every operational, customer experience, and financial metric. It's not just another KPI, it's the umbrella metric that determines the economic health of your contact center. Thanks for watching my YouTube channel, Contact Center Knowledge Hub. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights. See you in the next video.